Hello guys, welcome to the first video of this channel, and today we are going to dive into the workings of a very popular technology which probably you all know as Nearby Share. Nearby Share is a fairly new technology, right, which enables Android users to transfer very large files, media, applications, you name it, between a Windows PC, an Android phone, or between friends on an Android phone, right? So it kind of actually gives the same functionality an iPhone would have in their ecosystem, like it tries to provide that seamless connectivity, but many people don't know it's working and actually which technology it uses to work. So I thought, let's make this video and let it be known. So what is Nearby Share, right? Nearby Share is a feature which Google introduced in the Android operating system, which is available for like Android 10 onwards, if I remember correctly. It essentially allows two phones to connect together without the need of an external server, right? Without the need of an external server and exchange information between them. And one thing, the phone, like it can be a phone and a Windows PC as well, because they have developed an application for the Windows PC. And for the phone, like generally you don't need a separate application for Nearby Share because Google have integrated that in the operating system itself. You will find it just by like opening the quick panel settings and then tapping on Nearby Share. There are like a ton of tutorials on how to use Nearby Share, so I'm not gonna go into that. Let's focus on the technical aspects on how it actually works, right? So Nearby Share is a very interesting technology because it is not a simple protocol which uses one kind of technology and just does things. It uses a combination of stuff. For example, it uses a very common stuff. You know it, I know it, our grandfather know it, probably their great grandfather know it. It's Bluetooth, right? So Bluetooth is a very old technology. There has been new versions. Those are generally speed improvements, bandwidth improvements, security improvements, etc. And there are like more stuff, but I'm not gonna go into the history of Bluetooth development. That's gonna take a lot of time, right? And that's outside the scope of this video as well. So let's like understand how Bluetooth actually plays a role in the working of Nearby Share, right? So Nearby Share, what it does, like according to the name, nearby, right? So it searches for nearby devices using generally like 2 to 3 technologies, right? So the 3 technologies namely are Bluetooth, ultra wideband, and again NFC. NFCs are not new that like as per se, but like I know that many people wouldn't know because it is usually reserved for high-end phones, and many people don't actually use NFC in, at least in our locality, right? It can be many people actually use it, but many people are not literate how it actually works, right? NFC stands for near field communication, and ultra wideband is like long for UWB technology. So they actually work for the same way. Both have their advantages and disadvantages each. For example, Bluetooth is a very trusted and tried kind of solution for finding the nearby devices, right? It has many devices use it. Your Bluetooth speaker, maybe your camera, maybe your mic, everything. Like there are a lots of Bluetooth appliances. You get it, right? And then there's UWB. UWB is fairly recent. It actually tackles the problems with NFC and Bluetooth, right? Because NFC is near field communication. Okay, so let's understand NFC first, because then it would be a bit easier to explain the UWB. So NFC actually works like, some people like tap their phones and then everything is done, boom. That is NFC. Like there's a small circular chip inside those phones, circular or any shape, like chip in between them, which when it comes in contact or in very close proximity with another chip, receives or sends a particular signal which has been set into it. It's kind of, you can think like a programmable Raspberry Pi, right? But a very small Raspberry Pi which just can store like one thing of information. It can be a number, it can be a name, it can be anything, but like just one thing. And usually it's a link, a text of some form, or a VCS file, which is like now recently being used to send contacts. And that's NFC. So what it does, it's just like says, okay, you are in close contact with me, let's connect and let's share. That's NFC. That's pretty seamless. You don't have to worry about searching for another devices and then finding another and then search, again trying to connect and stuff. That would be a lot easier. And then Bluetooth is another technology which is, well, it's a radio wave which just like goes out and then be like, hey, I'm here, are you there? And then this is like, okay, I'm here as well. So like, okay, let's pair. Do you want to pair? And they're like, yes. They're like, yes. And then they pair, right? So that's Bluetooth. But for ultra wideband, it is kind of the same thing but a bit different, right? So Bluetooth's accuracy is really low, right? It cannot show the exact position of something, but ultra wideband can actually like understand the position of an object down to the like centimeter precision, right? And Bluetooth is generally like somewhere around 5 meters if I remember. So that's a very big improvement. That technology is actually used generally for automations, like for example, you enter the room and then you set the room such that you enter the room and then the AC turns on and stuff. You have a smartwatch with UWB. So how it works is the same way. Your phone sends out signals, right? That I am here, connect with me. In the same way, your watch or any device that you are carrying, it will send out signals like, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm here. And then they will be like, okay, you are there, what's the program? Okay, so you told me to do this, let's do this. So that's ultra wideband. The main advantage is that it is faster, it has a lot more data throughput, and then it has a lot of precision, right? But for nearby share, precision is not actually kind of the main point. It just works for data transfers, and most phone actually don't even support it till now, so it's kind of meh. But NFC and Bluetooth, those are like most major names. Okay, so ultra wideband, it actually works when it works, but that's a like niche. Okay, let's understand that. But as for data transfer, there's a very interesting story, right? It actually uses Bluetooth, ultra wideband, and WebRTC combined. WebRTC is not particularly new. It has been used a lot of times everywhere. In short, it is just like a technology for connecting peer-to-peer. For example, generally connections are like you connect to a server, another person connects to another server, and then the connection gets established. The server is in between the exchange, right? But for the peer-to-peer, it's as the name implies. There's no third person. You don't say there is no messenger, right? You directly go to the person and say the message to them. But it is not actually 100% serverless. There is one server required, which is known as the signaling server, which is just the name. It is just the name, right? We are humans. My name is something, your name is another, but we are all humans, right? It's the same thing. It's a server told as signaling server. Nothing special, same shit. Anyway, so let's go. The thing is, with the signaling server, what it does is the phone or the device which actually wants to send the file, it says, hey, I want to send the file, here is its metadata. Or as you might say, it makes an offer. The actual term is it makes an offer, right? And it is it sends, to be exact, an SDP, which actually stands for Session Description Protocol, right? It sends that. So essentially it just describes that what information are you sending. Like for example, if you are sending a video, what is the length of it, what is the codec of it, etc, etc. That's all. And that server then sends the same SDP to another computer or the receiver. Now that receiver receives it and then gives another answer, again in SDP. And that SDP, again the server takes it, sends it back to the sender. Now you're like, okay, that's fine and all, but then they're still not connected. So how do they get connected? Because the IP addresses are not connected and all. They're just sending okay, I will be sending this, and they're like, I will be sending that. So when they send SDP, something else also gets sent, which is known as ICE, okay, which stands for Interactive Connectivity Establishment. Okay, so it sends out ICEs, and then so how do I explain this? Okay, let's see. So ICE is kind of a list. Okay, it's a list of IP address. So most computers sit behind a firewall, right? So there are a lot of firewalls, so they change your IP address and stuff. It like changes a regular thing. So they're like, wait, how do I connect? And then it's a very complex topic. I'm not gonna go into that, but I'm probably not doing the best job at explaining the technology of WebRTC. I gave you the overview, right? So that overview, you can go ahead to a Fireshift video. I will link that down in the description or even put that in the I button above. You can just go and check that out. But like that's that, and then the IC goes to the server sends it to the client again receives the IC, sends its own IC along with the answer SDP back to the sender, and then the connection is established, the server goes out of the equation. The server, like a very important thing to note here is that the server actually doesn't store any information. It just sends out, okay, I received this, I send it whole. It doesn't keep a copy, it doesn't receive any actual information on whatever that is. So it is like completely secure. It's very like tough to hack and stuff. So that's WebRTC in a nutshell. So what it does is like it allows the use of networking facilities like Wi-Fi to exchange information, right? And then like when you use a very large file, for example, we send, for example, a movie which is, let's say, 10 gigabytes to another friend. If you send it over Bluetooth, bro, good luck on sending it in this life, right? You have to wait till next life. So for that not to happen, Google were pretty smart. So what they did was, there is like, okay, let's use the Bluetooth, ultra wideband and NFC strictly for like small bits of information. For example, your name, maybe a image file at best. That's all. But for larger information, let's use WebRTC. Let's use the Wi-Fi signal and send it over. That allows us to reach the speeds of about 48 megabytes per second and stuff. Around that speed, the speeds will vary. It actually not a solid definition, or like it's not based on any theoretical calculation or anything. The information which I like, the speed information, it's just like my practical experience, right? So that was it. And it uses the the Wi-Fi of your phone to send the signal of like the sender data actually to another phone, because it is already connected. You remember the ICE it sent back from the client using the signaling server. So now those two phones are connected, and now the sender can actually directly say, okay, hey, I want this IP address, I want to send it to this address, right? So I want to send it to this address, send it directly. I don't need a third person in between. So it directly sends it to that phone. You click on receive, you get the information. Okay. So there are a lot of benefits of using Nearby Share instead of third-party applications. Because first of all, like I said, it's very secure because there is no third party involved, no nothing. The maximum someone can record using Nearby Share is like if you're sending very large files, maybe the information of what you are actually sending. For example, if you're sending a video file, it may record like, okay, you sent a video file in MP4 format, but they won't know what that video file is. So it's really secure and it's really tough to hack, particularly if you're using NFC, because you have to like tap the phones together and like the third party cannot get physically in between your phones, right? So it's a very secure technology. It's very fast, it's convenient. It is now available in Windows as well as in, well, Android phones it is. So that's all. And then it also works offline. And that was essentially the working of Nearby Share. If you like this video, leave a like. It was a very first video. I know I stuttered a lot. I said a lot of excessive words. I would really appreciate if you have any suggestions based on how should I improve my presentation and my speech. Please leave it down below in the comments. I look forward to meeting you in the next video. Peace out.